I'm walking with the Word in Sheffield. I've been thinking about the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 23. It describes how Paul is going to take the gospel to a place called Areopagus. And as he's walking around, he notices an altar that's dedicated to an unknown God. And Paul says to the people, I've seen this altar, and what you worship as an unknown God, I have come to proclaim to you. I love Paul's approach here. Paul was called to take the gospel to the Gentile nations. The Gentiles were the non-Jewish people. And Paul himself, before he became a Christian, was a passionate Jew. Paul was a Jewish religious leader, a Pharisee, and very, very zealous. And I love the fact that God called him, when he became a Christian, to take the gospel to non-Jews. And Paul's approach can show us so much about how we should bring the gospel to people. What did Paul do? He didn't try and create division. He didn't say this unknown God is not the true God, you need to change to a different God. He said, this unknown God, I'm going to tell you about him. Paul built bridges. He found common ground with people. There's been a discussion recently in the Christian circles about whether Christians worship the same God as Muslims and the same God as Jews. And I've not really got time to share my opinion on this. This is just going to be a short 3-minute video. But one thing I would challenge us to think about when we're discussing questions like this is, how do we use language that best builds bridges with people without compromising the truth and integrity of our own beliefs? How do we build bridges with people without shaking our belief? I don't think we should adapt the gospel or adapt our Christian beliefs so that they're more culturally appropriate. But I do think we should be using our beliefs and our faith and our passion not to make division with people, but to build bridges with people. And this is exactly what Paul did. In many, many situations, you see he's finding ways to build bridges with people. And one of the things I think we can do to do this is actually choose to use language in such a way that we communicate common grounds, look for truth, and look for right things in what people believe, and commend those truths. So, for example, if you're talking to a Muslim, Muslims believe in monotheism, they believe in a created universe, they believe in a God of justice. All of those things are common grounds with Christian beliefs, and it's important to emphasize those and to commend truth wherever we see it. And I believe this builds bridges. I believe this earns respect, and I believe this creates common ground, which will enable us to further bring the amazing news of the gospel to people.